Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
We talk about burning vehicles, and that's got to be one of the deterrents to EV or electric vehicle sales. It just has to be. I don't care what anybody says. If they hear about these cars that may catch fire while they're charging or when they crash, and then you can't put them out. I mean, it's and Automotive News did a story on, there's several stories I have here for this, but this one is important. Electric vehicle related fires have erupted at 2 of the Detroit 3 automakers over the course of the last month. Well, they step up production and they're making these electric cars real fast. Last week, production at General Motors Factory Zero, straddling the Detroit-Hamtramck border, was temporarily halted after a fire broke out. GM is investigating the cause of the fire, where it assembles the GMC Hummer electric vehicle pickup and SUV and the Chevrolet Silverado electric vehicle. Early indications are that a forklift punctured a battery materials container, a company spokesman told Automotive News. He punctured a container and it catches fire. I'm telling you, lithium is very volatile. Very, very volatile. While the fires appear to have been handled relatively smoothly, they indicate how battery combustibility remains a major concern with electric vehicles. For automakers racing for market share, the consumers are apprehensive about buying and in emergency crews tasked with cleaning up the wreckage. They can't get these fires out. Don't kid yourself. These vehicles that are catching fire, they can't put them out. Reports of electric vehicle fires surface regularly in Michigan and beyond. A Tesla Model Y burst into flames in Alabama earlier in the week, reportedly requiring 36,000 gallons of water to put out, according to the local media. I don't even know if I want to believe that. This year, Ford Motor Company temporarily halted production of its F-150 Lightning after one of the pickups burst into flames in a holding lot in Dearborn, Michigan. Come on, it's just sitting there and it caught fire. Experts have for years warned of the hazards of electric vehicle batteries due to their weight and the volatility of their chemistry. This is my thought, the chemistry of it. The vehicle that caught fire last month at a Stellantis North American headquarters in Detroit area was an electric vehicle prototype. They can't even get them on the market yet, and they got them blowing up. The November 19 fire broke out inside a lab at the Chrysler Tech Center, where the vehicle was parked in a lift before staff and firefighters removed it from the building with a forklift, according to the incident report completed by the fire department in Auburn Hills, Michigan. You got to get it out of the building because they can't get it to quit burning. They can't turn it off. That's nuts. And did you ever think that you would see the end of Stinky Gate? Well, not yet. This is in Washington now. Truck engine maker Cummins agreed in principle to pay $1.675 billion penalty for installing emissions defeat devices on hundreds of thousands of engines, the largest ever penalty for a Clean Air Act violation, the Justice Department said Friday. Well, they didn't hurt Mercedes that bad. They got a bunch of them. The department said Cummins allegedly installed defeat devices on, 630,000 vehicles, 2013 to 2019. These are the Ram pickups. Sure, the Ram pickups, all different sizes, the 100, 150, 2500, 3500, with the Cummins diesel in it. It's the second largest environmental penalty ever reached, as far as that goes. The company has seen no evidence that anyone acted in bad faith and does not admit any wrongdoing, Cummins said. It's been, how long have this has been 5 years ago. Nobody came forward and said, oh, by the way, we cheated too. Stellantis, which owns Ram, declined to comment. But Cummins says there's no evidence that anyone acted in bad faith. What are you talking about? You've been hiding this for 10 years. Give me a break. Well, it is what it is. You know, Chuck, that whole Stinky Gate thing, those diesels could not pass the emissions. They would not make it past that emissions test. And the particulates of O2, HO2 or whatever it's called, they couldn't get it passed. So they put in this little device to make it look like it passes. It shuts this part off and starts this part up and when you run the test, it passes. Then you go back and it's not on the defeat device anymore. I got to tell you, I thought that whole Stinky Gate thing was over. I thought the emissions gate, Stinky Gate, I call it. I thought it was over. Well, just when you think it's over, it ain't over. Like, was it Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. Electric vehicle and charging news made a splash at the 2023 CES show, that's Consumer Electronics Show, the tech show. But their presence this year mirrors what's going on in the automotive market, a growth shutdown. At the 2024 CES Consumer Electronics Show, EV, electric vehicle announcers are expected to slow to a trickle. This year's show will feature a new global EV series by Honda, the only automaker that said it will have electrification news. In other words, stick a fork in them. I told, Chuck and I talked about this forever and ever and ever. And I said, this is not going to last. The people are just going to get tired of this. All you hear about is fires and no charging stations and no infrastructure. And they just keep building those cars. They keep building them. The only guy selling any electric cars is Elon Musk out in California. And of course, California's...
Well, remember, he's in Texas now.
Well, yeah.
He was smart enough to get out of there.
He was smart enough to get out of it. Well, in California, they tax your bottle caps. If you take a Pepsi bottle cap off, they tax you 10 cents for that cap.
Yeah.
They tax you for everything. In California, the tax, and then they give it all away. I mean,
there's a tax on the taxes.
The tax on the taxes, they're bad. The average fast charging session at a non-Tesla charger, now this is non-Tesla, was 42 minutes, according to an energetic study of 2.4 million charging sessions over a 3-year period ending June 30th, 2023. I was going to say it had to be over a 3-year period because they don't have that many charging stations in the country. The study, cited by the U.S. Department of Energy last month, found that free public charging sessions took almost twice as long, 1 hour and 18 minutes on average. Many automakers have partnerships with charging networks such as EVgo and Electrify America to give their customers free charging sessions. Public charging speed is among several barriers that make consumers reluctant to purchase an electric vehicle. It is a frequent pain point, that's a nice way of saying something, cited in the electric vehicle owner surveys, including J.D. Power's Electric Vehicle Experience Public Charging Studies. Jeez, that's a mouthful. J.D. Power's August report said electric vehicle owners were increasingly dissatisfied with charging speed on both level 3 fast and level 2 chargers. Well, did they think that maybe there's not enough electricity to go around? I mean, come on. And they're giving you everything. They're going to give you free charging on these some certain vehicles that you buy. Somebody's in bed with somebody, and it's working because they're getting there. And of course, I'm sure if you watch the news at all, you heard this one already. Stellantis withdraws from the Chicago Auto Show. There'll be no Stellantis. To be as efficient as possible in our media and spending the money, we are evaluating participation in auto shows on a case-by-case basis, while prioritizing opportunities for consumers to experience our vehicle firsthand. Probably scared to take them to Chicago to get all shot up. The automaker, citing last fall's UAW strike, pulled out of the Specialty Equipment Market Association show in LA just recently, late last year. in addition to next week's Consumer Electronics event in Las Vegas to cut costs as part of its strike contingency plan. In other words, they're claiming that they spent way too much on the strike, and that's what's killing them. They can't live like that. They can't do this, We spent way too much on this strike, and you people got too much money from us, so now we're going to cut all these corners. That's going to be the first time you will go to the Chicago Auto Show. You won't see a Dodge or a Chrysler or a Plymouth. That'll be the first time ever that there will be no Chrysler products there, which I'm talking Walter Chrysler here now, not Stellantis, because that's got Fiat and everything else with it. That's Italy-based group. I don't know. Chuck, I mean, what's your thought on a car maker that large? That's one of the big three. Backing out of a Chicago Auto Show, which is it's a legend. It was.
Right. Well, and I think that's the other thing is you look at it as that was in the old days the only way that you'd see the new cars coming out, that you would have that, you'd hear about the new cars, the media would be there, they'd have the media day, and they would talk about the new cars, and again, things change.
Well, I know the internet has changed a lot of the ways we do things, but for you to look at a picture on a screen, it's just like watching a commercial on television. You want to get up close and personal, you have to go to the auto show to see it.
I've been having this discussion with people about the idea of, buying a Hyundai from Amazon or something like that. And I said, is this really, for a lot of older folks, I think it's crazy. And for younger, I mean, even the idea of like buying clothes or shoes without actually trying them on. That's what everybody does now, right?
Yes,
so I mean, that's the whole thing. Is that
and send them back if they don't fit.
In our world, I would never even I was joking. I said, what if you buy a car? It's used. It looks nice. You get it and it smells. It's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, this car smells. I don't want it. But even the idea of like taking it to someone like Big George and taking a look underneath the hood and looking around and seeing if somebody tried to pull a fast one.
Exactly.
You just buy it on the internet. Shows up on your doorstep at like Carvana.
Oh yeah, you buy one the Carvana with
the little gumball machine. It comes out, and then what? I mean, and that's the question: is that for a lot of people? And I was asking. I said, is it a convenience factor, or is it that this generation doesn't want to haggle with people, that they don't want to be hassled with going into car dealerships?
No, I think it's called lazy.
Well, and so the interesting thing is,
I call it lazy, and this is exactly where I was going with that.
But on the opposite spectrum of that, the dealers don't seem to mind, because instead of having to talk to you all day long and walk you around the lot, a guy just orders it online. You get an email. This guy bought the car. It's done. For them, it's easy.
And the prices are high enough that the salesman gets his cut.
Right.
I mean, the prices are still very high.
Right. So
overpriced is it just? You don't think that free charging? You don't think that's built into the price of a car?
Sure, everything is, right?
I mean, let's face it. You're paying $20,000 more for that car, so you get free charging.
Yeah.
But you can't tell the younger generations today, the ones behind the boomers. You can't explain to them how this is happening. They figure, I got a credit card, I can pay for it, I don't have to leave my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'll take it.
Right.
And that price doesn't seem bad. What do you mean it doesn't seem bad?
Well, how many
$50 for a hot dog. Give me a break.
To get delivered, right?
But it's being delivered, by DoorDash or
right.
whatever, whoever delivers, and I don't have to leave my bedroom.
Right.
I can sit here on my phone. It's lazy. The people today don't want to go out and look at cars. I remember when I was younger, my dad wanted to buy a new car. We went on Sunday when they were closed.
Oh, yeah.
So that the salesman wouldn't bother us.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go and he'd look at the Fords, he'd look at the Chevys, he'd look at all of them till he saw one that he liked. And then he would go back when they were open to make his deal.
Okay.
But those days are over. Nobody puts any effort into anything
that's
anymore.
The thing. Instead of you having to drive around to a bunch of different dealerships, there's apps and websites that'll put all those dealers against each other and say, he wants a black Hyundai. Who wants to give him the best price on one?
Exactly. I understand.
So for the consumer, ideally they're getting a better price, but also they're buying a car sight unseen.
But are they getting a better price?
I don't know.
Anymore with the price of vehicles? I have no clue. It used to be you look at the sticker, you take $2,000 off, and now we talk.
Okay.
Now that's out the window because that sticker is way overpriced to begin with. It's way over. And now they want more than that because, you want this car, you got to buy it. And the people that don't want to leave their bedroom say, all right, put it on my charge card.
Yeah.
And they swipe the plastic, and they don't have to get out of their bedroom. They don't have to get off the phone. I call it lazy, Chuck. That's exactly the way I see this. We have lazy young'uns coming up that want to buy their cars quick with no effort.